Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan show video. Um, Serious week of wrestling, I would say. I feel like that it has been a bit. I wouldn't say bad. Bad's a strong word. Bad's like it's terrible. It's not really good. It was good. It was enjoyable. But let's get through. Let's go through it. Let's see what happened this week. Obviously, you started with the week on Monday, yeah, Monday Night Raw. You had the next round between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And when I first watched that, the promo, everything that happened, it just, it felt like a mess to myself. I feel like everybody was on a different page. Roman Reigns was on a bit different page. Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso were both on different pages. You had CM Punk, who I kind of felt controlled the promo battle. I felt like me coming out of it after watching it the first time, I felt like CM Punk won because I think I was more so kind of thinking about the mind games that was going on between them, what was happening between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Who's gonna pull the first punch? Obviously, you had CM Punk punch Roman Reigns, but it was the first move, but it wasn't the full axe, if you per se. It was kind of a little of a slight dent into the shield uh, of Roman Reigns. But comparison to what happened this week, which was you had the full out kind of smash them all, how we kind of saw Roman Reigns when he first came back, and he was that heel, just smash them all, take no prisoners. Whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do it too, yeah. And the trigger for that was Jey Uso telling Roman Reigns, smash him. And the key insight for everybody was he said Joe. He didn't say Roman, he said Joe. And it kind of highlighted the fact of how personal this kind of promo story build up is becoming with the Samoan kind of bloodline dynasty and CM Punk. Um, it's very interesting to see what's happening there. As I mentioned before, at first I kind of thought CM Punk won because he was able to get the trigger. He's got all these guys in the bloodline on different pages, and Roman's kind of crashed out in a way. But watching it again and just perceiving what's happening, it it's like CM Punk is in his own world. And I think I got caught into it, where at the end you can see, obviously, CM Punk laughing at the fact that he's been put through that table. But at the end of the day, all that matters is who wins and who's champion in the end. And if Roman Reigns puts CM Punk through the table, pins him, he's going to be champion. And it doesn't matter what mind games, who won one round, who won the second round. If Roman Reigns takes that away from CM Punk, him being in that kind of mountain or that higher level compared to Roman Reigns because he's champion, it no longer is the case. And those things that he says, so if he brings up Roman Reigns' family, you can no longer, there's no way to kind of, if you're looking at it as a like a WWE storyline kind of view, You can't walk around it, if you get what I'm saying. It's something that is very personal, and he doesn't have the kind of leverage you would as a champion. Um, so after watching it again, hearing what people have said, and just perceiving it in a different way, maybe there is a different way of looking at it again. But I kind of thought Roman won that. Roman won that. The Bloodline didn't win that. CM Punk didn't win. It was Roman Reigns because he was able to get to basically smash CM Punk. I'm not too sure because I don't know if I'm liking what's going on with Jimmy Uso. I feel like 2 weeks ago I kind of said I really loved what Jimmy Uso kind of did. His promo, him punching CM Punk in the end, I really enjoyed that full kind of situation. But compared to the last couple of weeks, it's as if he's in two minds. He doesn't want to be that person that just goes all in, has that emotion. He's kind of been cool headed about it, but really, maybe he shouldn't be as cool headed as he's he has been, and maybe he needs to be more aggressive and more aligned with his cousin and his brother in this as this goes along. What I think should happen going forward is CM Punk needs to eliminate the Usos from the picture. There needs to be something in place on the road to WrestleMania. Maybe it is a match between CM Punk and Jey Uso, where if CM Punk wins, the bloodline is barred from from ringside. They can't interfere, which I think needs to happen if we're going towards the fact of Roman Reigns winning at WrestleMania, because I kind of had it with what Big E said in the Raw recap. Like this, CM Punk has constantly said you can't do anything without your family, and this is a case where you're not doing anything without your family. Your family is getting involved. You're calling out the bloodline to basically deal with CM Punk before you match at WrestleMania. It doesn't seem to be that one-on-one storyline between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Also, I feel like the involvement with the Usos has served its purpose at this fact. They need to move on and kind of get back to the past and the storyline aspect between these two people with Roman Reigns and CM Punk, because that is what is gonna carry this rather than it being a another main event at WrestleMania that everybody forgets about. You would want it, you need it to be a thing where that storyline gets people to go back and rewatch that, immerse themselves in that, and it has meaning behind it. I feel like currently they're going towards something where there isn't any meaning to what's happening currently. So I feel like that needs to be addressed, and they need to get back onto that road. We've had the swerve, we've had the kind of misdirection to kind of deal with the fact that Roman Reigns wasn't going to be on the show, but now that he is going to be on the show every week, this needs to be dealt with in a different way. I feel like, and the Usos need to focus on what they need to do, and just a throw out LA Knight needs to focus on doing something more interesting. I don't know what he's doing. Why is he getting involved with the Usos? Why is he? I know you got problems with the vision. Deal with the vision. Why are you coming out? You is that they have nothing else to do for LA Knight and they've just chucked him in? it's kind of annoying for LA United, but it is what it is. Obviously, a bit of a crash out there for myself, but have some kind of storyline, man. Do something, man. Are you involved in business that isn't to do with you, man? Anyways, the reason I think that needs to happen is because you're looking at the fact where Roman Reigns and CM Punk is not going to be your night two main event. Run Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So yeah, I just had to think about that whether I agree with that or not. Roman Reigns and CM Punk may not actually be your night two main event, and what will surpass it, I think, I believe, based on how the storyline is making me feel and the interest towards it, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, it seems more intense, it seems more realistic in a way, it seems more true to the characters. Obviously, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they are what they are, but these characters, with Randy Orton especially, it is very, very interesting and very engaging in how everything is going on with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Obviously, this week you had Cody Rhodes return and he came to save Matt Cardona. You had the match between Randy Orton and Matt Cardona. After this, at the beginning of the show, you had Matt Cardona basically come out and just hit in the head with Randy Orton. What I like and I notice quite often with Randy Orton, he does tend to, when he does get hit, he always kind of tends that wound. It's like a shock. It makes me feel shocked. It's not so fake, in a way, if that's the right word, or it's not so unrealistic, or not as clean as if someone else was doing it. It's so clean. It's so crisp. It's so believable, and that is that Randy Orton you kind of see throughout the show with everything that he's been doing. So you had the match, Matt Cardona and Randy Orton. You get what you expected. Randy Orton dismantling Matt Cardona, and it ending with Matt Cardona. I believe it was disqualification, or Matt Cardona losing, and then Randy Orton going on his warpath. Then comes out Cody Rhodes. Them two get into it. They separated. It reminded me of. I feel like obviously it's happened before, way lots of times, but it reminded me a lot of uh, Punk, not Punk, John Cena and Brock Lesnar when they were in the ring, and you had the bloody nose of uh, John Cena, and then you had Brock Lesnar on the other side, and it was very, very intense and very like, ooh, this is real. And I felt that way the same way this week between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Obviously, they go back and forth, getting physical. It needed to be physical. It couldn't be the case where Cody Rhodes came out and just talked. It needs to be physical to kind of build off that physicality that we saw last week. What I want to see, I think we will see, is we're going to find out next week who the person on the phone is. I feel like that will be revealed at the end of SmackDown next week. Maybe at the beginning of the show, we'll have the back and forth between um, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and eventually we'll see at the end of the show who is the person that Randy Orton is speaking to, because he kind of highlighted it on purpose, that obviously he's not listening to everybody out there, he's listening to the voices in his head, but then he's saying that there is one person that I'm listening to. I think last week I said that maybe that is Ric Flair is the person he's been speaking to, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens next week, who is the person that he's speaking to. Hopefully it is as big of a person as one can expect. It's not someone who's a throwaway person that will have an involvement slightly in the storyline. Has Hopefully they have a kind of deeper connection and deeper kind of link, and it develops the storyline even further, so that interest is kind of seen and the cinema is presented. You obviously Jelly Roll got RKO'd. That was funny. Um, but those are your two highlights throughout the week. Obviously, you had that another Brock Lesnar and Oba kind of back and forth. Oba prevailing again. Really enjoying that. Can't wait for that match at WrestleMania. That interest is there. You had what happened with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman is a Dick Head. Terrible guy. Can't believe what he said to Seth Rollins. And obviously, Seth Rollins came out. He snapped. He attacked Paul Heyman, then got arrested. Don't know how long this arrest will last and how safe Paul Heyman is, but um, I guess we will see next week whether Seth Rollins is there or if he's not. And I don't think Seth Rollins will be there next week. And I also feel like we're gonna see the Usos lose the tag team championships. As much as they've been fighting champions, they've not really been fighting champions. It was better with AJ and Dragon Lee. We need to get the tag team championships off these guys, man, and get them doing something else, because these guys don't really care. They're not building that tag team division as they should be. Let's get them gone from the tag team division and let's focus on people building a really good division in uh, on Raw, because you definitely have the people there to build it out with. Hopefully, after WrestleMania, we get a bit of a draft and they switch up the teams. They get some people on Raw, get some people on SmackDown, swap them over, and mix things up. Just because, even though obviously you had new additions to um, both shows, a lot of the kind of repeating characters who we haven't seen in a while, putting them on a different show with the fresh new paint, could be really good for them and and develop the show even more. So I feel like that needs to happen. Um, Shout out to Javon Evans. That match between Grayson Waller was insane. I really enjoyed that match, and it really highlighted who Javon Evans is. I'd be interested to see what he is going to be doing at WrestleMania. Will it be a match between him and Cody Rhodes? Will it be a tag team match where he's involved with someone else? That'll be very interesting to see what goes on there. Sami Zayn has somehow won the United States Championship. I feel like it's a bit forced, and you kind of we were all expecting Trick versus Sami at WrestleMania, but now that he's got the United States Championship, this is an excuse to get the championship on. It feels like it. My thought that is a kind of excuse to get the championship on Trick Williams without having him face off with Carmelo Hayes at this point. And that could be very interesting to see what he does with that United States Championship, because Trick Williams with a championship could be very, very cool, and we could see very interesting storylines, especially with on Raw. You've got Penta, who's his kind of championship reign is developing into more of like an open challenge. So you don't want necessarily two open challenges on both shows. So as the Intercontinental Championship turns into a bit of an open challenge where Penta is facing loads of different opponents, you kind of get the United States Championship on a bit of a heel. I think that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Hopefully, it's Trick wins that United States Championship in a way that screws over Sami Zayn. So he doesn't lose it fairly, and that kind of develops the the further crash out of Sami Zayn. But lots of things happening. Very kind of excited to see what happens at NXT. You've got the fatal four-way between Joe Joe Hendry, um, Ethan Page, um, Ricky Saint, and Tony D'Angelo. I very much expect that Joe Hendry retains because of miscommunication between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. I'm really enjoying Ethan Page and Ricky Saints on NXT. I wouldn't mind a tag team between Ethan Page and Ricky Saints on NXT. That would be really, really fun and really, really entertaining. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if it was good, leave a dislike if it was bad, and peace.